Hey you guys, please excuse my mess over here. I'm gonna fix that up after this video, but basically this video is going to be about a crazy heroin addict tweaker girl that I unfortunately happened to cross through my life. And I'm gonna make this video like 2 part or 3 or 4 parts. I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I feel like if I tell you guys everything that I have dealt with this individual, is gonna be like a 2 hour plus video, so I'm not even gonna attempt that. Oh, my hair's sticking out. It's gonna bug some of y'all. So, yeah, basically, how do I start? Okay, well, let me just start in how I met her. So, currently, I used to hang out a lot with my friend, who is now my business partner, and, at that time, I noticed that he, basically had this girl there living with him, like, in his shop. And I didn't really think that to be odd, because I know that, like, he would tell, like, his friends or his admirers. He has, just girlfriends that come through and hang out with him and whatever. He calls them his family. But, yeah, basically, like, he would always tell them, if you're in some kind of situation where you need somewhere to stay, my door is always open, kind of thing. So, basically, that's what she was doing. She didn't have nowhere to stay. And then one day we just came up about, I don't know why we were talking about her, but I remember him telling me that this was like the 5th time he took her in, and I was like, oh damn, okay. So basically, she's like a bum. Like, she couch surfs with her friends, and once, I guess, something happens, she has nowhere else to go, and he's like her last resort. So he just takes her in. He accepts her in, and basically, since she was there, I guess every single time I would go there, we started, you could say, forming some kind of friendship, where she would be like, oh, you're like my sister, to the point that she started saying, you're like my sister, you're my best friend. And I was like, okay, well, this girl seems decent, like, she seems normal. She doesn't seem like, because he made it seem that she has some kind of like mental issues. That's why she's been out on the street, like, basically since her grandma passed away when she was a teenager. And but just speaking to this person, like, she seemed sane to me. She seemed like she could be part of society. Like, she could just be normal and get a job and, be a normal person. And he was like, oh no, she's not sane, basically. But me speaking to her, like, she seemed sane. She seemed like she understood her reality, and she, like, was aware of everything around her. And this was around the time that me and him were discussing starting a business together, because I told him, like, I'm gonna start a business. And he was like, oh, I want to start a business too. So he was like, why don't we just make a business together? So I was like, okay, cool. I might as well have somebody with experience than with no experience, or me by myself, which is, I don't have any experience in having any kind of establishment. So after that, I was like, well, you know, she's a bum. So I'm thinking, I mean, like, it's obvious she got nowhere else to go or live or stay. I told him, why don't we give her like a room in the store in exchange for work? Like, all she has to do is help the customers. I'm pretty sure she's capable of that, you know? And then he was like, oh no, she's not capable of that. I remember, like, she's mental. And I'm thinking, like, okay, well, I've been talking to her and she seems pretty sane to me. And yeah, I'll give her a chance in doing that. And then something came up where I had to go for a month. And I could have found anyone else, but I was like, look, I'm basically gonna have to trust this girl with my store, basically. So this would be kind of like, I don't want to say test, but it's kind of like seeing like what if she could be capable, you know, because I had to go out of state. I wasn't gonna take my animals. I had a cat and a dog. And I was like, okay, well, who would be a better person? This girl has nowhere to live. She keeps asking people if she could like spend the night with them or whatever. So I told her, I'm gonna be gone for around a month. While I'm gone, you know, the rent was paid, all that. While I'm gone, I'm gonna need you to just look after my dog, look after my cat. That's all you gotta do. And I told her what she had to do, you know, walk my dog 3 times a day, how much she should feed him, you know, like it's simple. Simple care, animal care 101, you know. So that's all I asked her for. Just take care of my animals while I'm gone. You can use my apartment. And I told her, get a job, because once I'm back, I don't want to keep that apartment. You could take over my lease. So she stays there. I'm gone for a month. At the end of the month, I start getting these phone calls from her friends and my business partner talking about how she's a mess. Like she's suicidal. She tried killing herself in my apartment. She was getting drunk all the time. She broke the back door. And I'm talking to her like, dude, why did you break the back door? And she's all like, I lost the keys. And I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. It sounds like it's a mess going on there. And she's having like some kind of mental breakdown, some kind of mental episode. And I told her, like, dude, why are you feeling this way? And she's like, oh, nobody understands me. Nobody ever understands. And I'm going to be homeless in the winter. And that's why I want to die. And it's like, girl, what the fuck? Like, I told you, get a job. You could keep this apartment. Because obviously you need money to keep an apartment. And she ain't had no job. So I told her, like what's going on? Did you just like, well, I didn't tell her, like, did you, oh, obviously you just gave up in life or whatever, but it's kind of like, I told you what you can do to, I guess, prevent this thought that caused you to turned you into going into a mental breakdown or whatever. And okay, once I start heading back, she's like, I get a call from my roommate, because my roommate came back maybe like 2 to 3 weeks before I did, and he's all telling me like she was making meth in here, like the dishes were all piled up, there's a hole in the ceiling, the door is messed up, like it's just awful. Basically, he's just telling me awful things, to the point that like I'm like, okay, I'm over it. Like, I gave this girl a chance, and she not only did she not take care of my animals properly, she messed up the apartment, because the second I stepped into that apartment, like the living room had a carpet, and the carpet had like a whole bunch of stains, like if she skipped walks that she was supposed to walk, obviously go walk my dog. My roommate said that there was scratches in the front door of basically my dog wanting to get out. Like, the second you walked in that apartment, like it was strong, like kitty litter smell. You know, that cat mixed with kitty litter smell? That's what it smelled like. And it's like, dude, this place, like, she basically turned it into a crack den. Like, this is disgusting, you know? So even by the time my roommate telling me all this stuff, I was just over it. I was like, no, girl, you just failed miserably in anything that you had to do. Like, it was very simple. What, you know, like, and you not only did you not even take care of my animals, because I had a conversation with her afterwards, and she was like, oh, well, I wasn't really there. Well, obviously, from looking at them stains in the carpet, you weren't really there. So you didn't take care of my animals, and on top of it, you ruined the apartment. Like, I don't think when you let somebody stay in your home that you have to be like, please don't ruin the apartment. Like, leave the apartment how we left it. Like, this girl's crazy. So ever since then, because obviously my roommate's over here telling me all this stuff, it's like, no, like, this is not what it's supposed to be. Like, I don't have time for this. Like, I really don't. I have other stuff going on. So ever since then, I think she like stopped liking me, because I didn't want to be, or I didn't want to talk to her when I couldn't talk to her, because it's like, I have other stuff that I need to discuss at this time. And what am I going to talk to you about? Oh, you ruined my apartment. Oh, and you didn't take care of my animals. Okay. Yeah, what else is there to talk about? You know? So ever since then, I'm pretty sure she took a disliking to me, because I felt some kind of way from her ruining my apartment and not even doing what she was supposed to do. And I'm gonna cut that off short and come back with a part 2 in maybe like a few days. Okay, bye guys.